Shem Angel 46, ARIEL. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. This is Taliesin McKnight. And today we're looking at Shem Angel 46, ARIEL. This is a Shem Angel associated with dreams, secrets, hidden knowledge, and hidden treasure. So this angel is especially associated with secrets, hidden things, and it's interesting that the divine attribute, according to Athanasius Kircher's Oedipus Egyptiacus, published in 1654, according to Oedipus Egyptiacus, or Egyptian Oedipus, Oedipus Egyptiacus, published in the 1600s, the divine attribute associated with this Shem angel is God the Revealer. God the Revealer. Kircher's Latin has Deus Revelator, God the Revealer. And, you know, as I stress a lot in my videos, these traditions, although we may have the earliest written records in the 1500s, 1600s, a lot of this probably comes from oral traditions from earlier times. For example, now with the Shem angels, in the 5th or 6th century, the 3rd book of Enoch talks about 72 angels that are associated with the turning of the cosmos and the movement of the cosmic order, the planets and the zodiac and everything else. 72 angel princes. And then the 72-fold name, or Shem Ha-Mepharesh, is expounded in a few medieval texts, such as Sefer Raziel HaMalach. But adding the ending El or Yah at the end to make angel names, the earliest recorded reference that we have to the 72 Shem angels is in Agrippa's 3 Books of Occult Philosophy and in Johann Reuchlin's De Arte Kabbalistica. So Agrippa's 3 Books of Occult Philosophy were written and passed around in manuscript form around 1509, 1510. And of course, this is probably added to a little bit until being fully printed, Book 1 in 1531 and all 3 books in 1533. Then Athanasius Kircher's, the Science on the Art of the Kabbalah by Johann Reuchlin was published in 1517. Now, I don't think either one of these were making things up. I think they saw themselves as compilers, as those that were writing down and passing on the tradition. So we don't know quite how early that this really goes. But a century later, in 1654, Oedipus Egyptiacus, published by Athanasius Kircher, that gives us the divine names, the divine attributes. So each of the 72 Shem angels has a divine attribute associated. Deus Revelator, God the Revealer. And once again, this Shem angel, ARIEL, is associated with dreams, secrets, hidden knowledge. Even it's said that he can reveal things in dreams. So whatever you want to know, any kind of hidden knowledge, ARIEL can help you. ARIEL is known to reveal things in dreams. So we have dream magic, which dream magic is found in the classical material, in the grimoire traditions. Now, one thing to note here, a lot of you that know just a little bit of Hebrew may think, oh, ARIEL, Ari is lion, so lion of God. That's not correct. The word Ari in Hebrew starts with an aleph, aleph, resh, yud, Ari. That is not what this is. So a lot of you may think, oh, like the Ari or Isaac Luria, it's the lion. No. because this Shem angel name begins with Ayin. Ayin, Resh, Yud, Aleph, Lamed. So Ariel is not Lion of God. That is not even remotely correct or accurate, not at all. Because Ariel begins with the letter Ayin. So I just want to point that out. Obviously, people can do whatever they want with this stuff, but I think it's very important to point out all these distinctions, because Ariel, Ari with an Ayin, is not Ari. It's a different name. So Ariel governs 15 to 20 degrees of Scorpio. So let's take a look here. Again, we know that Ariel is associated with hidden knowledge, secrets, reveals things in dreams. So very much associated with like dream magic. Governs 15 to 20 degrees of Scorpio. It's from the choir of virtues. Again, that's Oedipus Egyptiacus is the source for that. God the revealer is the divine attribute. So even the divine attribute is the revealer who reveals things. Hidden things. It could be occult or hidden wisdom. It could be secrets. It could be you want to know what's really going on in a situation. Anything that's hidden from your view, this is the Shem angel that's associated with anything that's hidden, that you want to see what's going on, or you want to see the truth of something. So, this is what Lazare Lenain's La Science Kabbalistique, that's just the French name of this book, The Science of the Kabbalah by Lazare Lenain. Now, this book is important for the offices. Many people, myself included, use the offices, but he does a lot of things in here that are breaking from the tradition, such as there being 3 Shem angels of your birth based on these Kabbalistic tables that he makes up. And he says that he makes them up. Like the 20-minute cycle, he invents that. The idea that the Shem angel that governs at your birth is just governs your body, but then another Shem angel that with a 20-minute cycle is like your divine genius. He's just making this up. And way back with Agrippa, the Shem angels govern the 72 quinaries of the zodiac. That's 5-degree sections of the zodiac. But in this book, he tries to fit them into days, 5-day chunks. Well, that's only 360 days. So the last 5 days, he assigns to the 4 elements and to God. So what should be assigned to Mumia, the last Shem angel of the 72, is instead... so he's trying to make it fit. And then... lastly, these sigils here, these talismans that he associates with Eliphas Levi and all that, these are pentacles from the Tol's Grecos key of Solomon. These 72 talismans, Shem angels, these are not this has nothing to do with the Shem angels. So, I'm in no way denigrating this book or putting it down. I think it's essential to have this. I use the offices. Many people use the offices. I encourage people to read this for the offices. However, I would take it with a grain of salt. Now, having said that, let's look at what it says for the office. I have my own translation here from the French of La Science Kabbalistique. That's just the French name of this book on the science of the Kabbalah. This is what it says. This genius uncovers hidden treasures. This genius uncovers hidden treasures, reveals nature's greatest secrets. So if you're wanting to know like secrets of magic or whatever, right? The hidden, look behind the curtain at the reality, okay? So this genius uncovers hidden treasures, reveals nature's greatest secrets, and makes us see in our dreams the objects we desire. Right there, reveals things in dreams. The person born under this influence is gifted with a strong, subtle mind. He or she will have fresh ideas and subtle thoughts, will be able to solve the most difficult problems. He or she will be discreet and act with great circumspection. So this Shem angel associated, and again, the divine attribute going all the way to Athanasius Kircher, God the Revealer, Deus Revelator. All right. Oh, wow. I do see some people that watch my videos. I see this person has a 6-pointed hexagram as a profile with Ari within it, if I'm reading that right. Ayin Resh Yud. It's kind of small writing. Hello, welcome to my video. I love your profile picture. Very fitting with what we have going on here today. So, hidden treasures, reveals nature's greatest secrets, makes us see in our dreams the objects we desire. So, anything hidden. This is a Shem angel of knowledge and hidden knowledge. And lastly, the divine Cabal. And here I'm quoting Welcome Manuscript 3203. Welcome is the library or collection of books. MS is manuscript. 3203 is the catalog number. Welcome Manuscript 3203 says, ARIEL governs from the 7th of November. Now this depends on the year, because our year is not totally matched with the zodiac, so there is some variation. So I encourage people to get an astrological app. I use AstroCharts Pro. You can find AstroCharts Pro or Lite, L-I-T-E, AstroCharts. You could find it on, in the Play Store. You can find it on an Android. It's very accurate. So you might want to double check on an astrological app, but this is what it says here in the Welcome Manuscript 3203, Divine Cabal. Ariel governs from the 7th of November to the 11th inclusively. The verse from whence is derived his name is the 9th verse of the 144th Psalm. That's the Vulgate numbering or Septuagint numbering. Excellent God of the universe, whose loving kindness is above all his works. Now, you don't have to use special timing with the Shem angels. If we're looking at Cornelius Agrippa's three-world model, we have the material world. We're getting little doses of Renaissance magic. And I do a lot of repetition in my videos because that really drills it in your mind. You're not hearing things once. You're hearing it a million times. That's why in every video I say Athanasius Kircher's Oedipus Aegyptiacus published in 1654. This repetition will stick with you. So Agrippa's 3 Books of Occult Philosophy, published in the 16th century, breaks things down into 3 worlds. In this 3-world model, at the center we have the elementary realm of stones. Hello, how are you doing today? You have the world of stones, plants, animals, metals. That's the elemental realm. Beyond that, you have the celestial or astrological realm. And then beyond that, you have the divine or super meaning above, super celestial. The third world up, you're not so bound by astrological timing. So you don't have to use special timing with the Shem angels, but many of us find it useful. Looking out at the cosmos as a type of doorway, a type of window, to catch a glimpse into the divine order, into the mind of God, and to the realm of the Platonic ideas, the divine realm. So you don't have to use special timing, but people around the world right now, people all around the world, and it doesn't matter if you're northern or southern hemisphere, it doesn't matter. All around the world, the sun in the tropical zodiac, now there is some distinction there, the tropical zodiac, all around the world, people, the sun has entered into 15 degrees of Scorpio. The next 5 days, people all around the world are starting to work with this particular Shem angel. Now, some people believe that, let's say that we were a coven or a group or a lodge, right? Some people say that if we have a group of us and we're doing stuff together, that creates a type of group mind. Now, I'm not trying to go New Age here, but just hear me out. There is an idea, okay? We shouldn't just become ultra purists that don't even want to hear more modern concepts. Things have to evolve as well, but to each their own. But people around the world are turning their attention to Ariel right now. Some would say that opens up a little bit of an extra doorway. There's a little extra energy in the air associated with this angel. So ARIEL, I really want people to work with this angel, to really think about something close to your heart that you want to know about. And by the way, I just got out of the shower. Today's laundry day. Got my Tommy Hilfiger shirt. All I had clean was this and like just some plain t-shirts. So Tommy Hilfiger, here it is, you know. But anyways, I digress. The Psalm verse. All 72 angels except for one, Yabamya, that one's associated with Genesis 1:1 or Bereshit. But the other 71 Shem angels, each one is associated with a psalm verse. And most of them, if you look at the Hebrew of the psalm verse, somewhere around a tetragram, a Yud He Vav He, you'd have these three letters of the Shem angel name prominent. So that's the logic, at least. You'll see in the Divine Kabbalah, it says the verse from whence is derived his name. Although the names of the 72 Shem angels are ultimately derived from Shemot, or Exodus chapter 14, verses 19, 20, and 21. But the psalm verse associated, and traditionally the psalm verse goes with the call. You know, I try not to put like my own beliefs in here or anything. I try to keep it separate. But, you know, I kind of keep, you know, and it might upset some people, but I'm just totally honest. I'm a pagan. But I work with the Shem angels, and I've seen no problem, you know. And a lot of people are not Christian or Jewish, and they work with the Shem angels and get really powerful results, you know. People will be like, well, how can you do that? Well, because it works. Why would I not do it if it works? Shem angels, they don't care about our dogmas and things like that. But even though I am a pagan, what I do and what I encourage people to do is to say the psalm verse. You know, everyone has their own approach to practicing magic and of teaching, but my way of looking at things like this, which I share, some of my perspective, when you're interacting with a spirit, you interact with that spirit in the ways and modes that that spirit is used to being approached. So it's not really about you, it's about this entity. Okay, this is a guest. When you work with a particular spirit, you work within that tradition. You work with the modes that that spirit is used to. That's the way that I practice. It's what I encourage. People can do what they want. And I often explain it like this. It's like inviting a guest to your home and feeding them what you want. So you give this guest a bowl of soup, or you give this guest what you like to eat. They may say, well, I don't like soup. And you say, well, it doesn't matter. You're in my house, so you're eating soup. You're like, well, I don't really care for soup. When a guest comes in, you know, it's like when in Rome do as the Romans. When a guest comes in, you feed the guest what the guest is used to. So I encourage people, whatever tradition you come from, do the psalm verse. That's what I encourage. Let me see here. Hi, Crystal Lee. No, I'll get to the psalm verse, and I'm going to read your comment. Actually, that's what I was about to do here. I encourage people to read the psalm verse, okay? Whatever your tradition. Many people that watch my videos are Jewish, are Christian, and some of y'all are not. But whatever the case may be, I encourage, the psalm verse traditionally goes with the call of the angel. So you'll be like, Ariel, 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 you know, really make contact. I call upon you, Ariel, then recite the psalm verse, and then you have your interaction. The psalm verse is, so if you're reading from the Masoretic text, which is what you have in a lot of Protestant Bibles and in the Tanakh, it's Psalm 145, Psalm 145, verse 9. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. Once again, the psalm verse is 145, verse 9. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. And the Latin numbering, it's Psalm 144, verse 9. Suavis Dominus universis et miseritationes eius super omnia opera eius. And then, of course, we have the sigil of the angel that goes back to the Welcome manuscript. There's a lot of fear-mongering with some of these sigils. And what many people, and myself included, think is that it's because Boleyn and stuff, they were using a faulty Arsenal manuscript. I've never heard of anyone ever having trouble with the quote-unquote correct sigils from the Welcome manuscript 3203. You'll hear some people say, well, what makes it correct? Whatever the case may be, I think it's a lot of fear-mongering, but they're using altered sigils. Whatever the case may be. The sigil, I've never heard of anyone having problems with it. Although some people, they prefer to do the Shem Angel Pentacle. I made a video. The whole thing is like an hour-long video explaining the Shem Angel Pentacle. You could write the name in Hebrew, and then around it, you can put the psalm verse in Latin. Dr. Rudd does something very similar. Although with him, he has the psalm verse in Latin in the middle, and then around it, the name in Hebrew. So let me read some of these things here. Okay, there's a lot of comments. How many times says the verse? As many as you want. I do it just one time. Everybody is different. I like to call the angel name 12 times. For like the zodiac, I call the angel name 12 times. And then I say the psalm verse once. That's just my way. There's nothing traditional about that. It's just me. So call the name as many times. Do the psalm verse. You can do it 6 times. Whatever you want. There's really no rule here. All right. Crystal Lee says, I never talk to angels, just God. But I know they are there. But historically, they appear to deliver a message, task, or the like. So how did you get into the angel stuff? Well, I mean, everyone's got their own perspective. How did I get into the angel stuff? Well, I started doing magic at a very young age. I started with like positive thinking, like mentalist, like new thought type of stuff, and I was like 9, very young age. I did my first like actual like candle spell when I was like 12. But at like 11 or 12, I started reading books on like Wicca and Italian witchcraft. I started very young. And then I got into, I practiced kind of like a neo-pagan like form of magic. And then when I was 18, I joined the Esoteric Order of the Golden Dawn and got into some Crowley stuff and and then I started getting into hoodoo. So I've had like a long journey through different magical traditions. And it was in my mid to late 20s that I started getting into like Agrippa. Started getting into classical magic from the Renaissance. And, it just really fascinates me. And I noticed a lot of differences. I don't want to just make this about me or whatever, but I'm just answering the question. I noticed a lot of differences between classical magic, as it was done in the Renaissance, and more modern magic. And what happened was a kind of simplifying of things to, like, sell a lot of books. They made things very simple, or you could say approachable. It depends on your perspective. People are intimidated by Agrippa, but they like the idea of, and I went through kind of a purist phase. That was my younger self. Oh, this is like the real stuff, and then they dumbed it down, and that's not what I'm saying, but that was my view kind of in my 20s, so I got like really obsessed with classical magic. Now that I'm older and wiser, I do a lot of modern magic too. I think both work. Both are interesting, but they're different. But short story long, I just I don't really know why. It's like asking or how. I guess I just really started getting into the classical magic. And Shem angels have always fascinated me. So, whatever the nature of the angels, whatever they are, whatever theological opinions, we can put on that, it's very effective. And a lot of people, their lives have been transformed by this in very positive ways. The energy that you feel is very benevolent, very positive, very loving and gentle. And, yeah, so let me get some more of these comments. What Psalm verse? Well, you said that before I answered. I'll repeat it again, though. But because you said that, and then I read the Psalm verse. So I already answered it, but it's Psalm 145, verse 9. All right, Crystal says, I don't associate myself with the term Christian, but I do follow Yeshua. That's wonderful. Crystal Lee says, the Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. Beautiful. Yes, that is the Psalm verse. It is beautiful. All right, I'm going through these comments. Crystal says, words are for sure magic, a spell or story, coming from the idea that words and thoughts have power. Well, it's like the word abracadabra. It's an Aramaic, similar in Hebrew. Daber is to speak in Hebrew. Abara kadabra, I create with words. A lot of forms of magic have some type of combination of spoken words and the burning of incense. And like if you look at the Key of Solomon, or you look in Picatrix, a lot of these grimoires, when you make a talisman, you hold it in the incense smoke and you speak over it. And again, you get this idea of breath, breathing. Breath is life. And so it's, from that kind of perspective, what is Bereshit or Genesis? It's the act of creation. As an embodiment, as a microcosm of God, man made in the image of God, you could say we are having the creative act. That's our divine status. Some would say before our great fall in Eden, we were there to create. We are creators. I'm not trying to get all theological here, but, it's interesting. A little bit of a different tradition, but if you look at the Quran, no, that's Islam. But if you look at the Quran, a little bit of a different story of the fall with Adam. And that story, Adam named all the creatures. That's a creative act, right? And God, Allah, told Iblis or Satan and all the creatures to bow down to Adam. This is in the Quran. A little bit of a different creation story. All the creatures were told to bow down to Adam, except for Iblis. He said, I am made of fire, and man is made of clay. Why should I bow down before him? And that was this whole idea of the fall. So we have this idea of a creation story and kind of a semi-divine status of human beings and our act of creation. All right. Anyway, so it says, I study speech and sound science, so I actually know it's true now, but I'm reading the comment, but I also have a relationship with the Creator, and so far as He is the only one in my life, and magic or miracles are very real, but I just don't talk to angels, but I am fascinated. Well, we have different perspectives, and that's your path to the divine. And I think it's wonderful that you have that approach, and I think it's wonderful that you're here with me here, and just a very warm welcome to you. It's great to have you here. Let me see here. I'm just reading the comments here. All right. You show me from the root. Thank you so much. Well, thank you. I'm not sure how to read your name because I don't know the alphabet. But thank you so much. All right, I'm just looking at these comments. Yeah, Crystal says, oh my, I don't know, abracadabra meant that. So cool. Yeah, abara, or abra, means I create. Ka, the letter ka in Hebrew or Aramaic, means with. Dabra, I speak. I create as I speak. Abracadabra. It's actually part of like a palindrome. That's the whole thing. It goes back into the like 2,000 years of classical magic, using the abracadabra with like a palindrome type of thing. Amen. We are creators. Yes. Let's see here. Some words from Agrippa, even too hard for me to understand. You broke it down for me. Thank you. Thank you. That's partially why I do these videos. You know, especially as a second language, you know, it's very difficult. Hi, Lisa. How are you doing today? But that's partially why I do these videos. We're working through the 3 books of occult philosophy together. We're opening up this old tome, published in the 16th century. We're getting little doses of classical magic in these videos. Lisa says, I have been away, Messianic Jew, and need very much to get my butt back here for sure. Well, Shalom Aleichem, Lisa. It's an honor to have you here. I am not Jewish, although, you know, I don't want to digress too much in my videos, but when I was younger, I thought that I was, because I have a grandmother, maternal grandmother, last name Weinberg. But doing the DNA test, I don't have any Jewish. It's all like European. There's no nothing exotic, nothing cool, no Native American, no Sephardic or Ashkenazic Jewish or anything. Just straight up like Celtic and Western Europe, which is also cool because you'd think there'd be more stuff in there. There's not, you know. I'm like one of those Bronze Age. I'm like literally like someone like from the Bronze Age, from that, you know, Western Europe or whatever. I think it's cool. I spent 3 years in a conservative synagogue. I was considering converting to Judaism at one point in my 20s. I spent 3 years. But I learned to write Hebrew in the Golden Dawn. I learned the letters. And then that's what made it where I really helped me with my Hebrew. I by no means like speak. I can't like have a conversation. But that helped me with my Hebrew the rest of my life, because I'd go to these services and we would read from the Siddur and the services. For the Shabbats, we would read the Siddur, and it's all in all of it in Hebrew. And or I think there were sections, because it was conservative, like small sections that were in English, but that helped me a lot. And that was very eye-opening to study Judaism and to learn about it. All right. Very cool. Very cool. And it's really interesting that, I don't want to go too much into that. Especially, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Because even though I attended a shul for 3 years, I can't really speak for I don't want to say like the wrong thing or something inaccurate. Lisa says, oh, I'm German and Blackfoot as well. Too funny. Kind of strange. Okay. Personal question. Do you know any spells for language difficulties? For that, I would probably do a petition to Hermes or Mercury or some type of similar spirit like that. I work a lot of spirit model type of magic. Now there's like the consciousness model, thoughts are creative. There's the energy model, which is like harnessing energy, not just in your aura, but harnessing energy in like astrological conditions, like catching the rays of the stars or planets at an astrological time. There's the energy model, and then there's the spirit model, the idea that they're independent consciousnesses, not just physical, but on higher subtle levels of reality. They're independent consciousnesses with more or less energy or ashe or chi or energy, right? or spiritus from a Renaissance perspective, or virtus. So anyways, that's another, I have to keep bringing myself back, but Mercury or Hermes, even someone that works a Judeo-Christian type of perspective, Renaissance magic, they worked with, they called them causae secundes, or second causes. Okay, second causes, which are the astrological. If you want something to do with language or help with language, I would day and hour of Mercury. If you're comfortable with angel well, we're watching these videos, I guess you are. Raphael. I associate Raphael with Mercury. Some do Michael. But I would say Raphael. I would say, or work with the intelligence of Mercury, or just go directly to Mercury. Day and hour of Mercury, waxing moon, light a candle, burn some incense, and I don't know. I don't encourage a very open approach like that with all spirits. Some spirits are more hot and can be a little bit destructive, and also I would not use an open approach like that if you're scrying in a scrying stone. I would use a magical circle for that, but just light candles, incense, petition. I don't think you need anything elaborate for that. It's when you bring in a scrying stone, that's when I'm like, okay, time to bust out the magic circle. Because you get a lot of spirit activity and things. Crystal Lee says here, okay, I don't consider myself religious. Religion implies religious practices, and the only thing I do religiously is sleep. Ahaha. God made us to change and grow daily, and religion just doesn't align with that to me. Interesting. All right, y'all. Well, I guess that's it. We're getting a lot of activity in the comments here on my lives. So this is on Facebook. I do my lives on Facebook, and then I upload to my YouTube channel. People on YouTube, if you want to catch me live, go to my Facebook. In the pinned comment on the video, you're always going to have a link to my Facebook. That's where we do these lives. And so anyways, all right, y'all. I'm going to call it a night for that. So ARIEL, Shem angel of knowledge, hidden knowledge, secrets. Not just hidden knowledge of nature, but also what is hidden from your eyes. What is going on over here? What's going on in this situation? Reveals things in dreams. Shem Angel 46 governs 15 to 20 degrees of Scorpio. It's not Ari, lion. That would be with an olive. It's Ariel with an ion. I mean, not, yeah, exactly. Ariel with ion. From the choir of virtues, the divine attribute is God the Revealer, which also kind of has to do with revealing hidden things. Deus Revelator is what Athanasius Kircher's Latin has. The psalm verse associated in the Masoretic text is Psalm 145, verse 9. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Robin says, thank you for what you do. You're a blessing. You're a blessing. You're so sweet. Y'all are so great. I really appreciate it. The internet's can be an unforgiving place, you know. I've gone to YouTube. I've seen the comments, you know. I read comments. I've seen people be like, you suck, you know. They're not very nice, you know. Also, you have to be, there is a good side to that. You have to be correct. If you say something that's blatantly inaccurate, people will tear you apart in the comments. I think that's a positive. It keeps people like me on the straight and narrow. It keeps us trying to make our content good. But I have a lot of really, y'all are so sweet and so wonderful. Robin says, we love you. Well, I love y'all. Y'all are so freaking amazing. Yes, y'all. Like, it really means a lot. It really means a lot having y'all on here. And it encourages me. Believe me, I get these positive responses, and I'm like, yeah, people are liking this. I'm gonna do another video. That's how I feel. Like if I didn't get a lot of engagement, I'd probably still do it, but it's just very encouraging. So, to learn another language, I would go back to what I said. I'd go with Mercury. I'd do a petition to Mercury. All right, y'all. Y'all are so wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know how to say your name because it's written in, is that Ethiopian or, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar. I would say your name, but thank you. And thank you, Robin and Crystal and Lisa and all of y'all. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And y'all are absolutely amazing. All right, y'all. I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see y'all next time. Work with the angel, y'all. See how it goes. El Shaddai. Yep. God Almighty. Or God the Powerful. El Shaddai. All right, y'all. I will see y'all in the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much. Come on. There we go. All right. Bye, y'all.